Right on time, Andrew. Hello.
And you are early riser.
Oh yeah, no, he's up.
Okay, so I know I didn't have much to talk about with the other Final Fantasy games because I'm not really much of a like. They were so rudimentary that I didn't really have much comments to make. But I think I'm gonna have a lot more with this one. First off, starting with the main theme is now Prelude, which I think is interesting.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, it only seemed to show up when you're like at the end credits almost.
Okay, so it showed up in the starting text roll.
Okay.
Just explaining, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would show up anytime I went into getting raised in a church, which then later turned into more of a temple thing because they moved away from angelic figures and they moved more towards, internal logic, kind of.
Right, which is an interesting. That's an interesting shift for them world building wise, but it's also them stepping away from the D&D motifs, which I think is also neat. So this is where they really start to find themselves, sort of.
Yes, they begin to. This is not the moment that they totally do, but this is that first big step of them kind of going, "Oh, we have our own thing now."
Right, which from a development perspective is really interesting because they were leaning so hard on the D&D for so long that it's kind of like you almost expected it, so I'm wanting to see how much they kind of divert from that.
Well, as you saw, they started diverting from it immediately. Like literally, the very next game is they started pulling away from the D&D stuff. They started to make their own stuff. Like the Behemoth showed up, and like a Behemoth is very much a Final Fantasy thing now.
Yeah, and show our things like Leviathan and Cloud of Darkness, that kind of thing. They also had the like.
I haven't seen any of that yet.
They had the Dragoon, didn't they, in 2?
No, the only they actually did not have classes in 2 at all. Classes were not a thing. They didn't do a class system until this game.
Ah, okay.
This is so that's actually what we're gonna see here. Is you're about to see that very robust class system that people know of nowadays.
This is
here.
where it came in. Okay, so this will be even more interesting.
Yes. Also, we also saw the prelude anytime we were dealing with the elemental crystals and the whole Warrior of Light kind of
so it's
stories.
Almost like a holy motif.
Almost. They do use it usually in mystical themes, at least in those first 2 games. But now, as you see with 3, and this is a remake. This is a 3D remake. So this is actually a lot more robust than the original. But you can start to see that now Final Fantasy as a theme now uses the prelude because it always revolves around crystals somehow, these young plucky heroes saving the world somehow, and that's kind of the core of Final Fantasy. Even as the plotline may diverge wildly as we go. But anyway, let's actually start this game, shall we? Look at me on my PSP. This is the first time we've been back to the PSP in a while. I don't think since the Lunar stuff, actually.
You guys should have seen her setting it up. It was hilarious. She had to go like under her desk and she had to like rewire a bunch of things. It was cute.
Hey now. This is a Japanese import, so it will be in English, but there are going to be certain things that will be just in Japanese because it wasn't translated. Oh, it's so small. It's very similar.
airships in their original concept.
Hey man, there's been airships since
Oh, I know,
the first
but,
game.
like, what are the oars doing? Oh, chocobos.
You can see Red Mage in the background. You can see they're showing off their class system.
I mean, also just think of like, you're able to have this level of quality cinematic now. So that kind of lets the animation team kind of break loose.
Oh, and also, in the 3D remake specifically, the reason why I wanted it so bad instead of the original, which I could just get the pixel remaster, right? Is in the 3D remake, because the originals, they had went back to your Warriors of Light not having any kind of personality. In the 3D remake, because people did not like that after having 2, where they were actual characters, they desperately tried to add character to their main 4 here. That's actually what they changed primarily in the remake.
Well, it's also I think that's interesting because I think from this game or after this game, you start to see that story building and that character development that Square Enix is kind of known for.
Oh yeah, the very next game is the one they find themselves in, and honestly, I will go into a lot more detail when I get to 4, because 4 is it requires a lot more discussion than these first 3 games.
Sure, and yeah. So Andrew's saying that 3 was underwhelming story-wise, but again, I think this is still Square figuring out what they want to do and how they want to do it and where their audience lies.
They're also missing a key component of their original core team. They do not have Tokita here. They did not have Tokita for the first 3 games, and Tokita is what makes it's what allows them to have essentially Final Fantasy
as we know it. Right, and if I remember correctly, he actually didn't come from any sort of like computing video game or even
no, he was a theater kid.
Background. He was essentially the theater kid. He was an actor, and then they're like, "Hey, do you want to write stories for our games?" kind of thing. And
yep.
And that's what they hired him on for. And then we after that we start seeing the Final Fantasy that we're truly known, like Square Enix that we know.
Also, for anyone who has seen the promotional videos or the Welcome to Eorzea video when they first introduced you to 14, that entire sequence that we just saw, in the original, as the game was loading, that is almost beat for beat the promotional video for 14. That entire bit was a nod to 3. Let's crank down the music a little bit. Let's use the rearranged. And that's all I can do. Make sure that actually, saved. Right! Thank you, Andrew.
Well, no, don't reset it, because that's the one oops for this stream.
Hey! No. No abusing my counters?
Wow! This is Andrew.
I mean, best thing to do. Yes, I know. I'm actually starting the game now.
Oh, that was more for me? Oh, okay.
Ha! They've turned on you.
Yep, Andrew has turned on me. I understand.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate the fairness. All right, let's get this game on the road. Light. Oh, no hole.
Oof. Ow. Yeah, I would think so.
How did you not see a hole that big? It was bigger than your entire body. But apparently, we have fallen down.
An orphan raised by Tina and the Electrons in the village of Adventures? The village of sorry. I didn't see the career. Adventures by nature. Curious to get the better of them as nature. Okay. Are you gonna leave the pre-scripted names?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
Canon names! Oh, Pleasant Hole.
I was gonna say bones. Oh no! Gobos.
In fact, goblins. I'm just going to smack them and hope to God that it works.
They are in fact goblins. That's an interesting death animation. Just fade into nothing.
Yep. This uses the look of Bravely Default.
Yeah.
That's actually where all the 3D remakes kind of take their inspiration, is the Bravely Default look, because it was very popular. Yep. And yes, Andrew, in the original, they are 4 clones. They are basically just color swapped versions of the Onion Knight, actually. Although, in the remake, they changed it to Freelancer, which is something that is more common in Tactics.
Yeah, I don't think this cave is particularly safe, my friend.
It does, but it works in a very different way now. Okay, so what do I have at my disposal? I'm a freelancer. Yes, in fact. No items, no magic. I have a knife and a vest. I am very safe. Okay, so this is very interesting just for fun. So, and this won't be a thing until we actually get other jobs. Yeah, no thanks. It's still the top class. Just no thanks. So there are your actual character levels, which are just your character getting experience. There's also job levels.
Oh, so they're
They're 2 different
components.
things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Formation.
my question is then, so because you have character, so is character level that balances for combat or job level?
Job level is more important in 3.
Ah, okay. So you kind of want to figure out what job you want to take early on then, or what job you want to get to, I suppose.
So because you are allowed to change jobs at will, and there are so many,
Right.
you're going to basically pick. Yes, Andrew's saying that job determines what stats get boosted, which is true. Your character level essentially just facilitates that that actual stat boosting. It tells you when the stat boosting happens. The job tells you what stats get boosted. So generally, job levels are more important. But anywho, so because you can change them at will, and there's a small cooldown time every time you change jobs. You have to do a certain number of battles before it fully gets pushed in. But what happens is brain has lost it. I've lost my brain. I was in the middle of a thought. Come on, ADHD. I know, right? But what happens is, as you kind of prep for bosses, you change a class to better fit that boss.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's kind of
It's a strategy game.
Yeah, so you need to level your jobs, and that's almost more important than the overall character levels. So are you going to be then grinding individual job levels at certain points, I guess?
I personally will probably not unless I run into problems, just because it's a very different system. It causes some funny things. I'm going to default run, and I'll keep it at fast because I definitely go pretty quickly. And then confirm. Go back. Now confirm. Oh, good. Awesome. All right.
Gotcha, Andrew. Thank you.
Ooh, treasure. A shield and a potion. Let me get that nice shield on. I have more defense.
A leather shield. Well, I imagine it's not actually purely made of leather. I assume it's wood wrapped in leather.
They don't go into that much detail.
No, I know. But just as someone who fights with swords.
Oh! Random encounters. Understood. There's back. A really cool thing they just showed is now, and this is partially because of the remake. Now, just because I put on that leather shield, you now see that he has his knife and his leather shield on at all times. It's not just like assumed to be there and then it only shows up whenever he's blocking.
Oh, okay. So the random encounters have always been part of the Final Fantasy thing. So the showing of equipment was that the big change for the 3D remake?
No, because even in the original, so what they had is they had their little pixel sprites, and then they would do color swapped versions of a staff, a sword,
I got
to
you.
show the change of equipment. And then those that had a shield, every once in a while, when the enemy quote unquote missed, they would show a little shield pop up in front to kind of make the character can make the assumption that they're blocking instead of, in the original that remained roughly the same. It's just now you can fully customize your team to show different jobs basically.
Oh, I'll get you.
And they still have the color swapped thing. So the actual the having the different equipment has always been part of Final Fantasy, which is funny because like nowadays people are like, oh man, you can fully see, what you're wearing. That has been a thing for a while. It's just, it was a very rudimentary concept at the time. Because again, this game mostly just dealt with giving your characters a little bit of backstory and giving them a unique look. Like Luneth will always kind of have this white hair kind of look to him. And look like Luneth. And give them a little bit of a prologue to actually like justify why they're going on this adventure.
I gotcha.
And of course, the 3D worlds and models and maps. There's very little actual done. Okay. I'm gonna wander around a little bit and kind of go to level 2, just so I can... So there's my job level increasing. But I'd like me to increase, please. Can I increase now? I would like to be level 2, please. Thank you. Oh. Them showing off the nice 3D look. They made it more of an investigative thing, which is neat. Oh yeah. Proper dungeon grinding. Treasure. Oh.
It was a trap.
No, that just happened to hit the random encounter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Still, trap.
You activated my trap card. Treasure. Ooh, a sword instead of a knife. Can I equip said knife or said sword? I can. Fight. Smack. I have better smacking power. Ba, 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 ba. Another potion.
I feel like they're worried about you dying early on, and well, this is sort of the hand-holding phase of here's how the game works. They do certainly give you a lot of items early on.
Yes. So, that is a carbuncle.
Is a beetle with a single eyeball. No one will destroy my poofy little white foxes. My blue and red foxes.
How dare.
How dare they?
As you saw, because I got rid of the knife and I grabbed the shield, or not grabbed the shield, grabbed the sword. Now, instead of a knife in my hand, I had a sword. It's very nice. Very good job that they did with that. And I understand that nowadays that's very common, but at the time, no, it's not. So, I don't know if they did this in the original because I didn't play the original. But nowadays, instead of having the weapons that you use to then do damage, now we just have items that do different elemental damage that I may not have access to yet.
Gotcha.
This is where they kind of move away from weapons doing things specifically. Yeah, a little bit. But they're moving further and further away from it is the important part. Go this way. Hello. Back. They call it Blue Wisp.
Is it like a wind elemental or something?
It's blue. It's probably ice, but yes, it's
Okay.
essentially elementals yet right now.
So this is when is this when we start seeing?
Elemental weaknesses, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, look at the pretty water. Ooh, free heal. Yes. There's also, as you can see with that actually functions similarly to how like some of the goddess statues did before. So as you can see, they're moving more towards a more nature is good.
Yeah. Nature has some sort of has innate power kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to incorporate this more. Like, again, you can see them slowly moving towards what we know of as Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they're getting there.
That looks like a boss room, so I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hang out and level to about level 5, like I always do. And just kind of, you know, get kind of safe. Hang out by the free heal point and take advantage of such things. Yes. Whereas this one, you actually have to gather them. That's why I said, like, in the remake, they specifically try to kind of make it to where all of your 4 characters have motivations and they have a reason of being with you instead of just, boom, you have a party, let's go. From a gameplay perspective, Instant Party is nice and all, but from a storytelling perspective and in terms of like the player actually caring about what happens to these 4 nameless smooks, that's just not, you're not gonna care. Not gonna give a shit. If one dies, oh no, whatever shall I do? Like, you won't give a shit. That is a problem with getting characters too quickly. Oh man. I mean, sure. But not like, I meant like as like a character, as a person. Yes. Because at this point they're not people, they're basically units. They're basically a nameless soldier that works for you. Back. This will be my life for a little bit. Just lots of smacking. that's a big jump in HP now I'm looking at it. Went from like 38 to 45. Holy cow. I do like the music. Very chill. Oh, rip. Hi, Al. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Um, subscribers don't have ads?
Oh, that was a smooth transition.
I don't have it, okay? I'm not good at dead selling myself, okay? Such damage. A critical for 1. Oh man, 2 criticals for 1. I stab it in the eye, 'cause that's all it is an eyeball. Oof. Where would I be without you, Al? Truly, I'd be lost without your puns.
What I think is interesting graphically is they have the background is very simple matte painting, same with the floor. And 2D sprites that kind of wiggle around with the camera.
A little bit, yeah.
And I assume they've done that very intentionally because this is a 3D remake, so they're trying to keep it kind of the more retro style.
That, and also you're dealing with portable, because the original 3D remake was done on Android. So, and this is not new Android either. This is like the beginning of smartphones. So you're dealing with limitations, hardware limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was ported to the DS and the PSP respectively.
Yeah.
So all portable consoles.
Right. So they've done a very good job of like conserving what resources they have.
Yeah.
And it's very rudimentary, but that actually kind of plays into the
origins.
To the origins, the retro feel, to everything.
Yeah, they did a good job. I think it's a really good remake, personally. I don't know about the DS and how they were forced, because Nintendo did a lot of weird things with making people make like use the Street Pass and stuff like that. Like people they made them do a lot of things with the DS for some reason that are just not in this game because it's PlayStation. There's no such functionality in this game. But as far as I am aware with this game, because I have just started, is a very good remake.
I get you. I appreciate it. That's what I'm pointing out. I'm not trying to criticize it for its look or anything. I actually appreciate that they've managed to save a lot of resources by doing things that are
smart.
Well, they're very basic and yeah, smart things because they have to conserve their resources. But they've done it so in a way that keeps
the feel right.
It keeps the feel right, keeps the aesthetic right. It still feels like the game that it is a remake of. Even though it is not the
pixel sprites.
Yeah, it's not the pixel sprites, it's not the isosymmetric view, it's just they've somehow managed to keep the feel with a 3D engine from a game that was certainly not.
Yeah. It was all 2D pixels and very rudimentary pixels too. It was great.
I'm just very impressed with how they've maintained the feel with an entirely new engine, and B, they've moved from 2D to 3D. So it's just impressive. That's all I am.
Yeah. They do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one more random battle. Thank you.
I just wanted to point that out because I think that's that in and of itself is neat, and it's also something that not all studios are capable of. And I don't mean like small studios working on remakes, but like we've seen the last few years how horribly like a AAA industry studio can bungle a remake in a way that it just doesn't feel like the game they're trying to remake, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. I go forth into what is very clearly a boss room. I am fighting a big ass turtle.
I don't think that's so much the problem, Al, though that certainly is for some games. Because I think what happens is a lot of studios, when they're like, let's do a remake, is they literally take the original game files and just try to put better graphics on top of it, which, as you pointed out, like never works. Yeah, like the Warcraft remake is a perfect example of that. Is they literally took the original engine and tried to just put better graphics on top of it, which didn't work. And actually, the quality of the game actually got less because you had less like animation acting. If you're going to remake a game, you basically have to take the original game and have it as reference and build a new game. Like a lot of straight remakes where you're just doing texture swaps don't do well.
To be fair, some of the Final Fantasy remasters are like that, but they're very specific about them being remasters, not remakes.
Exactly, but they're very clear about what the intention and what they're doing is. Whereas a lot of other companies will be like, "Yeah, we're remaking this game," and it's just a texture swap.
Oh man, I'm the chosen one. Wow, I think this is the first time they've actually like physically told me that I am the chosen one. Oh man, and this is actually where they begin to coin the Warrior of Light in like a legit way. Like obviously they just labeled you as Warriors of Light in the first game. This is when they're like, "Oh no, you have been chosen to come from the darkness and become a beacon of hope to become a Warrior of Light." Like this is the first time they've codified what that is and what that means. And here we are being chosen by a crystal.
So this is where the living crystal motif kind of begins.
Yes. Now the crystals are of course always been important in Final Fantasy. The crystals are considered magical. Just generally. But yes, this is the first time that you are chosen by a mother crystal of some sort. To go and save the world.
Mummy crystal. that is a sentence that is going to come up again and again and again. I mean, as a meme.
Sure. I can almost guarantee we will never see this crystal again, or if we do, it'll be one more time. Cool. We must bring balance back to the world. Which notably is the same plot as Final Fantasy 1, but now it's more defined, it's a better displayed to you. Just, they have done a better job this time of like why you're doing what you're doing. Our first task, go find others who are like us. Awesome. On the upside, she saved me from having to figure out a way out of the hole. I think this crystal was pretty explicit, sir. Ah, the world map. Here we are. Very pretty. But there is more to be explored. Bum 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 bum. Leather cap. Bronze bracers. I have more things to equip. On my head. In my arms. I have defense now. Da, 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 da. Whoop. Smack. Yay. I'm going to, because I have those nice new defenses, I'm going to put on the knife. That way I have more attack power. Ooh, screw the knife. Longsword. More bracers. Sleep. I've been told to go to sleep. Yet another longsword. I feel like they want me to have swords. Can I just learn it? Like, I can! Boom! Ooh, even more attack power. Yes. I'm not about to just beat stick my way through this game. Nope. I look kind of ridiculous, but you know what? Attack power. I'm like half fist fighter and half swordsman. I got this. Oh, I can save now. One minor gripe that I have is that they didn't give me any kind of like indication of where the fuck I just went into until you walk in. Sure. I just wish it would tell me before I hit the button. Oh no, a town's been cursed. Do I? Do I really? I don't think I want to. Sir, who is clearly the elder. That you just know this somehow. Dun dun dun. I mean, it's always an old guy with a glorious beard. Either that or he's Ramu. One of the two. Nice to know. Oh, okay. Shoot. Yes, please. Okay, cool. There are potions inside the well. You know what? I'll just do it. Awesome. Once again, the music is very nice. Super chill. I appreciate it. Hmm. Should I buy them? Nah. Oh no. Cool.
Friendly people just giving you things.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I remember correctly, in the Pixel version, they actually managed to have her do a dance,
They did.
which was pretty new at the time by just having her move around the room and switching.
Do little twirls.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of neat that they kind of bring that up.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? Just chilling. Better armor. There we go. Kind of spooky, but okay. I will buy one of these. Another orphan. And the best friend character. Aw. Verse books. I understand. And I can see I am the local, I don't know, ringleader. Oh no. Was taunted by bullying. I'll go save him later. Ooh, sparkly. Not afraid of no monsters. I have knuckles and a sword. You need more sleep. Ooh. Okay, I think I'm ready to go on this actual adventure now. Go after my friend, who is doing a dumb thing because he was taunted. Save first. Saving is important. In fact, I wish to overwrite. Yeah. Whoop. Nope, nope, go back. I do want to cancel the save, yes. Brendo! Scaredy cat. Sure. Yay! I give him swords. I give him bracers. He should be fine now. don't need that yet. Oh no, what's happened to you? You've gone all 2D. They've all gone 2D. Oh no. Rip. Let me get arc a level or two. That's not what I wanted. Yeah. That's kind of nice. Very simple, but they're showing a little bit of personality by how they do their idol there.
Your lead character, whose name I cannot pronounce,
Luneth.
Lunath.
Luneth.
Luneth. Is very confident, hand on his hips, just yeah. Whereas our arc character is constantly looking down and kind of has a little nervousness to him.
Well, and one of his hands is in front of him too, which is a more defensive pose.
I actually find that for more rudimentary games, and that's not an insult, a lot of the personality of the characters is conveyed through little things like their idle animations or whatever else. It's not necessarily through literal character building, but just smaller details here and there. And I don't know if anyone agrees with me on that, but you can develop a lot of a character's personality without having to
Make them say
anything, do storylines, add entire sections of the game to give a character. It's the little things that can add to
how they feel, how they look.
How they feel, how they look. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know Final Fantasy will continue to do that, especially as they get more and more like graphical things. Like there'll be a huge shift from the NES to the PS1, where they're beginning to get into, say, 3D with character models, but because they don't have faces, all their characters conveyed through these giant gestures. But then when they move to PS2, they suddenly have big enough rigs, basically, to show things like body language. And like the facial animation is still not good to do, like, say, like eye darts or things of that nature. And even then they try. But those are a bit more exaggerated, kind of like the big gestures were in PS1. But you begin to get things like body language. And then when you get to PS3, suddenly all of that is on full display, where they can do these subtle shifts in like how they move their lips to show they're uncomfortable. Things like that.
I get you.
Which actually is what makes people kind of go, oh, I don't like that. Because they're so used to these big grand gestures. They're used to someone's intentions being literally spelled out for them on screen. Like that has actually caused them a lot of trouble. Just because people are not used to reading between the lines like that. They're not used to having to do that extra work to figure out, that was a strange facial movement that I wasn't directly paying attention to.
Yeah, and again, well, I don't think that's quite as true now as it was back then. Like, I think the video gaming audience as a whole has become more attentive to things like that, because the games are more and more capable of more
handling that.
yeah, of handling that, having more realistic facial expressions, all these kind of things, is that there's kind of a technical intelligence that's kind of gotten stronger since then. But yeah, I can totally understand how early on that would have actually caused them problems, because people are like, wait, what is this? Because they weren't expecting it, because they were used to big bombastic movements from pixels. So when they started moving to more subtle things like in real life, I'm sure it did cause a bit of a confusion and perhaps annoyance.
Mhm. Well, that's actually where a lot of people begin to start saying that, oh, the plot's convoluted. Like, that's actually where that criticism kind of begins to show up. Because suddenly, that's more of an issue. Suddenly, they're having to do more work for their story, and rather than do that work, they would rather say the game is bad. And again, like Katarina said, that's getting less and less as you go on, but it doesn't change the fact that the criticism was there and that it did land and it affected how they developed their games.
Sure, and I think again, so if you look at the modern Square Enix games, I'm going to use 14 as an example because it's the one I know best. Is when they do their writing, they very much use they use tropes, story structure, like like a 3 acts, 3-act structure, things like that. They use those almost to a formula, and this isn't a bad thing. This actually, this can actually create very good writing. Just because something is a trope doesn't mean it's bad writing, but they almost use it formulaically because they want the audience to be able to predict the story. And again, that's not a bad thing. And I think that's a result of that. Oh, it's so convoluted. Complaint is now they're afraid to do something less formulaic.
Yes.
And I actually don't think that was entirely inaccurate, because I mean, look how successful they've become because of that. Like a lot of the games that are praised the most, if you actually look at the writing for it, it's very rudimentary and basic storytelling. It's executed very well, but it's formulaic story writing, and it's served them very well. I think we're only starting to see now sort of they're kind of taking risks again writing wise.
To be fair, Final Fantasy XIV has the benefit of being an MMO. You were like, oh, but MMOs, actually have a detriment. But honestly, the fact that they can always fix it and it's fine, actually is a huge advantage, because normally a single player game, that's the story, it's done. But with an MMO, if there's a bad arc, you can just fix it. You could just make it important to something later, and so it makes the arc feel better in comparison.
Right. Yeah, you can go back and add things in post that make something more sense. Also, an MMO has the advantage of you can do a slow burn story, which isn't, whereas in single player games you kind of have to get into the action very quickly. And sure, that's very much true, but you even notice that in the game where they have that kind of time for a slow burn, it's still very formulaic. And again, not a bad thing. So I just think that's where they've found their strength, and it's working for them.
Personally, I think what it is they just use traditional storytelling methods, and this is something I'm going to say just because I hear this a lot. Um, but there are a lot of people who play video games in a modern sense where, like, if you ask them about, like, favorite stories, they'll only go for video games or even movies. You're not going to find a lot of book readers, but Final Fantasy uses a lot of traditional storytelling that was given via book writing. Um, in their video games, they use it more often. And if someone is not used to reading, or someone is not used to how storytelling works in books specifically, they're gonna have a hard time with any of Final Fantasy's plots. Just because they use those traditional storytelling devices that are used primarily in books. Because books have, of course, pages, and therefore they can more finely control the pace of certain things based on how things are written.
Sure. And I mean, like Andrew brings up a good point, like the ending to the Mass Effect series, which was a complete disaster. But and then they brought out a DLC to fix the ending and add, more story writing to that to actually make it seem more palatable. But that also has to deal with a fundamental misunderstanding of why people liked the games. Like, for instance, the ending to Mass Effect 3 was literally either a Paragon ending, the Rogue ending, or something in the middle. So the studio thought that their Paragon system was what was making people interested in the game, where it was actually just, the story that they were writing and the story that people were playing through. The Paragon system was nice and it gave you additional options for your character to say things, but that wasn't what people were there for. Whereas Square Enix has very much from the beginning been like, it's about our story. It's the story we're telling, and we're going to tell it.
Yes.
And they've never really backed down from that. So that's a fundamental difference in that particular example. But it's also something that I've noticed from Square Enix as a whole is they're very much going to tell their story the way they want to.
Yes. Yeah, essentially, you're along for the ride. You're there to experience it with everybody else. You're not there to do a huge influence on it. But look, here's Sid, sort of. You can't see him yet, but there is a Sid in this game. And you can guarantee he will have an airship, because that's how Sid works. Always. A trip and a half. Funny. Sure, Ark, we got this. What's that? I get an airship right away? Yes. Yes, please. Got it. Oh, of course there is, but almost always he has something to do with an airship.
Yeah, I guess we'll hop into the Discord for just a moment. Andrew has posted something that's very cool.
I've come to see... Oh, that's cute.
Isn't it? That's super neat.
He mentioned it earlier, but I was gonna check it after stream. But now that you've done that, it's super cute. Nice. I got you. Now there's some kind of smith. Maybe it's this. I guess so. This might be it. It has a forge in it, or at least what they. I think they're trying to make that forge. You don't mind if I take your potion, do you? You say that, but I don't think you've actually learned your lesson. Now that we're on the next leg of the journey, save often. Oh. Boom, airship. I have a stowaway. Who are you? No, that's my line.
Oh my god, her artwork is so different from the sprite.
Yes. It's still cute.
She's very pretty though.
And she's the only girl.
Of course she is.
Wow. You're not very useful, are you? Do you, though? Fine. Hi, CJ. Good luck with class. Awesome. You joined the party. Good job. Why do people not come in at the level I want you to be at? Here, take a sword. And, I don't know, a shield. Shoot. Take that too. Just comes out of the ground. Free airship. It's mine now. Hey, you let me in. You just casually go walk up to the king. Alright. I'm like, what, 15? Up we go. I'll figure out how to loot the place later. Your Majesty, you're looking a little thin there. Awesome. You wouldn't know. You just met me. Fucking fight me. Okay, now that I have the full party. Give him that. Give him the 2 long swords. Give him that. I don't know. That. And give her a knife and shield. Nice. I know, it's secretly a butter knife. I know. Nice beds. Time to loot the place. Money! Huzzah! Aha! I kind of like it. It makes you like need to like explore a little bit. Arrows. Oh, a bow. Where are those arrows I just got? Put her in the back row. There we go. Give her Blizzard too.
Sorry, I'm gonna bring us back to the comment you made earlier. Of, like, he's like 15 and he just walked up and talked to the prince.
The king.
Sorry, the king. I think that's more of a Japanese game trope.
Oh, me too.
Than something specific to Square Enix and necessarily their storylines. And that kind of has to do with when they kind of consider people to be adults in Japan. So
Oh, it is.
what most people in the West would consider a young adult or a teenager are actually considered to be adults in Japan. So having your main character be 15, 16, 17 is not unusual. Whereas in a lot of like Western writing, the main character's in their early 20s, maybe even late 20s, for something that would be similarly written storyline wise. So I think it's an interesting trope, I guess.
Mhm.
It's an interesting form of Japanese writing, which you will see come up again and again, but it's not something that is inherent to Square Enix's writing.
Mhm. Oh, it is, but I'm just gonna make notes.
Oh, for sure.
Because even by that logic, the fact that, you know, you're just able, for some reason, to walk up to a major figure with no kind of preamble, no kind of, you know, knowledge ahead of time. You're just like, but why though? Yes, must be the airship.
I mean, if a kid showed up on your doorstep by landing an airship in your front yard, you might think there's something important about this one. Just saying.
Sure, but the king wouldn't know that.
I think he noticed the airship landing in his front yard.
He wouldn't know who it was, though.
True. But upon being told, hey, this is the captain of the airship that landed in our front yard, they may go, oh, okay.
Bet. Good early grind spot. High encounter rate. Oh no, a trap! Didn't even get a turn. if I could sleep in one of those beds and get a heal. I can! Oh, nice little stretch. Ooh! Ark, my buddy. Well, I got my potion back at the very least. Yay! Oh, more cure magic. Let's put it... Yeah. I'm fighting coins. Literally cursed copper. My love of treasure is being warped to its worst point. Cool. That one didn't. Aw, Princess Sarah is back from the first game. Because there's a Princess Sarah in that game too. Only we just had to rescue her, whereas now she looks like some kind of warrior.
Warrior princess.
Zelda, is that you? Cool. Oh, she follows me. Oh. Nice. Oh, nice. I've been cured. Oh, another cure. It's kind of nice that, yeah, she's joined the party as a guest, but she actually is, helpful. Oh no, it didn't work. Rip.
I mean, these cinematics are kind of neat.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're very rudimentary, but they're very neat. I also kind of like how they make their characters translucent almost, so you can still make sure you can see the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
Although this is her, being transplanted into a different reality or what have you.
No, we have been teleported, not her.
Ah,
I found my party. The crystal has summoned me back to tell me my divine powers.
but also abandoned the princess underground somewhere? That's bad news.
She's fine. She is cure magic. I'm so pleased that it is you who has summoned me. You've done one good deed and now you're a party. All right, bet. Awesome. We're all warriors of light now. We must restore balance to the world. Did we just kill the crystal? Oh no. No, wait. This is a bad idea.
Well, is this our official title scroll?
Oh. Welcome to the actual game now. This is all the prologue. Yay!
This is kind of interesting. This to some extent that stays a motif for the Final Fantasy games, not necessarily Square Enix games. but you're getting used to the game, and your introduction to the world comes before the grand ta-da welcome, you know.
Depends. Some Final Fantasy games do this, some don't.
Right, but it's from what at least I've noticed is that tends to be more often than not.
At least in the classic games, you're right. Once you start getting into like 7, 8, and 9, nah, they just toss you in and say, go forth.
Right, and I mean,
be your character, and they don't actually ever do this title screen thing until later.
Right. And again, that might be just be a changing with how they've decided to write things, how the studio's evolved, how their games have evolved. Like that just might be a change that just naturally occurred over time.
All right, we're given our divine mission. And apparently the world is on the verge of collapse, because we're the last hope somehow. Awesome. All right, Crystal Blessing. A Moogle! Yes! Boom, here's a job system.
It's interesting. The design of Moogles has how it's evolved.
Oh man, there are some that look drastically different.
Yeah, and I mean that's something that I'll probably comment on when we get to the other games. But it's very interesting just to see just where it is at the state in 14. Again, a game I know best, so I'm gonna make a lot of examples to 14 to how it looks here. Like, I can see this design in the design of 14.
Oh, yeah.
It's obviously changed and evolved over time. And, like, I find the aspects of design very interesting because they're definitely trying to keep the motif and look, of the group, species, whatever you want to call it.
Race.
Yeah, but at the same time, they've wanted to kind of update it at the same time. So it's very interesting to see how that has evolved over time.
Yes. All right, I have my first jobs. I have warrior, monk, white mage, black mage, red mage, and thief. This is about to be fantastic. Alright, let's make Lynette the monk. And they give us a little to-do. And also neat, I get to keep my freelancer levels. They don't go away. If I ever want to go back, I can. Let's make Ark a red mage. Because I like red mage. Rathia can be a white mage because she is the only girl and therefore must be a healer because that's just how that works. And let's make him a thief.
Let's play into stereotypes. Hurrah! I mean, what?
Honestly, it's just because I need a healer. And the others are better. The others are better at being offensive. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, doing this drastically changed what my guys are allowed to have. Boom. I'll wait on you. Make sure that he can. That. That. And she can only have a staff. Rip. White mages can only learn white magic. I know. Shocking. Red mages can learn a variety of types of magic. I'm gonna give him both my black magics and my blast gear. And that should be good. Should be legit. Should. Awesome. Oh. And like the Moogle said, those little arrows pointing downwards mean that I have not unlocked the full potential of my job yet. I have to make those go away before I start actually seeing the benefits of my job. A Moogle! Cute. Welcome back, Andrew. Yes, first jobs. Yes.
Oh. I'm not a big Final Fantasy person. Is the Mithril like the top material? Or...
No. It's the top early game material, though.
Oh, okay. Does the top material kind of just change as the games go on kind of thing?
Yes.
I see. Excellent. Did you just blow up your airship?
Yes. Yes, I did. It's a short-lived time with it. I kind of want it back.
Wow. What the hell?
They gave me the merest taste of flight and then said, nah. Short-lived, but okay. I see. Is this a thing that I need to do?
Only a bit that if you find all of the dancers throughout the game, you
You
get
get
something.
a thing.
Yeah.
Probably the dancer job.
Oh, probably.
The first time that a white mage specifically gets nature magic first. I'm in the water. Splash, 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 splash. It's kind of early in the game to start giving me elixirs. Hold up. Oh. That's why they gave it to me. Bye, Elixir. I knew you all of 5 seconds. Fine. They better be giving me all this shit. I gave up an elixir for this.
By the way, I'm gonna gush now. I love being able to just walk over and kiss my girlfriend. It's great.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you do. Gonna be gush gush for a second. There we go. Done.
Come on. Thank you. There we go. That is unfortunate, lady. Oh! Verbs! Ooh! You know, I try my best.
I ask then, do you have to like go revive her, or how does this work?
The gold needle, here's it.
Ah. you supposed to be here yet?
Yes.
That was a hell of a smack.
There. Rude.
That was a rather interesting fight.
I know, right? Oh, different birds. Maybe I'll have a better shot. Just gonna preemptively cure. Shit. Glad I did, otherwise he would have died. I see you're critical and I raise you a critical. Oh, thank God. Arrow! You. Do damage. Oh! Durgan! Hi. Huh. Oh, Durgan's back. Oh. Hi. Bahamut? They literally shot me up against Bahamut. Uh-uh. Vanish. Ow.
How do we got out of that? Wait, we did?
Most of us did. Just jump off the fuck side of a mountain. No, don't believe it. Everything's fine. We're about to heal. Yay. Okay, they give us the same information. Cool, cool. Actually, he'd probably be fine. No, I'll need more. Make sure the change is complete. Oh no. Those are not basilisks. Those are clearly chameleons. I feel gypped.
I was gonna say, that's a little mundane.
Oh, thanks. Hey, fly. Or something. Okay. Everyone has fully learned their job. Life is good. They're all tiny. No, anything but that. Chocobo! Double stick. You really shouldn't sample berries in the woods. Anything else? There's an inn, there's an item shop. Magic. Looks like that's it. Okay. Onward to victory and glory. Oh. I can use it. Nope, has to not be equipped, I guess. Wait, there it goes. Aha!
Figured it out.
He really is. I kinda like it. Again, exploration. Not yet. Yes. Let me sleep. Sleep is good. Okay, let me see. No, no, I'm trying to escape. Yeah, fine, I killed one. Yay. Almost missed important magic things. That. And that one. And give him that one too. Okay, now I feel ready. Crap. I thought I felt ready, but I don't. Okay, for real this time. Eh? I'm using a bow because that's what black mages can use. I was like, no. Don't you worry. I'm only going to be a black mage long enough to get this done. Ooh. Oh. You know, I sympathize with the rat.
No, take my shiny. My shiny. That is a big rat.
We are minied.
Yes, yes, but still, big rat.
Like, no, you don't understand. Big. Ooh. No, Rippingus. Oh well. Oh. All healed up. I see. They still have it to where if you're dead, you stay dead. Oh my god, go away. It almost made it out. Yay, I fixed it. All right. Let me just fix this. Became a black mage now. can stay as is. Make him a thief. Yay. Feels so much better. Hey, give me the last ship you have. Okay, that'll be the end of the stream. I think that's a really good stopping point. Have a good night, everybody. Yes.
Hmm.